set up. Yeah.
Okay, this is okay. Now it's working. Awesome. Okay. Hello and welcome to Office Hours for June 4th, 2025. And nice to see some of you for the first time in a while. And happy to be here as usual. Starting off with announcements and highlights. I don't see that anyone has added anything on the agenda. Anyone have something that you want to throw out there? All right, moving on to questions, issues, PRs, and I see this, the cannot compile on Mac SDK 15.5 issue,
That was
number
me.
8593. Gustin?
Yeah, I put that in there. I also put it in core, but I was recently trying to compile Osquery. I actually just checked out master, and the first issue I ran into was the FD open macro was being defined as null. It looks like that's a problem with zlib. I mean, I'm definitely not. I'm far from an expert in zlib and how all that works, but as far as I understand it, it looks like zlib is using if and def, which only detects macros and not functions, and it looks like SDK 15.5 has FD opens defined as a function, so like it just basically redefines it as null because it's not a macro, and it breaks zlib. It looks like the newer version of zlib doesn't have that issue, but I don't know if we're okay with upgrading or not. I don't know what that entails.
Yeah, I think we should upgrade.
Okay.
I think we kind of talked about it at the tail end last time. Just haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah, I saw that issue that Zach posted. It's linked up there. What number was that?
8593.
Yeah. So I can try to upgrade zlib if that's something that is if no one else has time, and see if it works. If it's like an easy upgrade, it seems like I just need to update the submodule, right? And then
yeah, it's an easy update. There are notes on the README, but I'm more curious about the boost error that you have also mentioned, because I can compile boost just fine with the latest SDK.
Yeah, so once I fix, so I'm not sure if this is related or not because I had to change zlib source to get this error to go away. I had to and I posted it in core, but I changed the line, this like define, to work slightly differently. So after I did that, the next error I got was this like integer value -1 is outside of the valid range of 0 to 3 for enumeration type int float mixture enum. I don't know. I Googled it, and it looks like there's this other like integral wrapper.h file in Boost. And once I changed, like I had to like update the source code for that as well. Once I changed that, it seemed to work. But I don't know if those two are related or not. And I'm not sure if that's because of 15.5 versus 15.4 or where that's coming from, because it looks like the issue was compiling on 15.4. I was having the boost issue.
Yeah, that was my experience. I mean, this is a couple months ago I filed this, and and Sharva, when you say it works for you, you mean the Osquery build works for you on Xcode 16.3, or you're talking about Boost in some other context?
I'm talking about Boost in some other context with the latest SDK, because I'm working on some other projects that also integrate Boost.
And I'm guessing probably then a different version of Boost, newer version.
I'm not sure, but I think
Okay.
it's pretty close.
I don't remember exactly which version of Boost we used. So I think when we discussed this last time, we were like, well, we could probably update Boost.
Yeah.
And I think Stefano pointed out, like, well, Boost is used everywhere. That's a pretty significant update that we want to test pretty thoroughly.
Yeah, I know we discussed this last time. I wanted to like, I don't want to like beat a dead horse here, but just trying to figure out what the potential steps for this are. I mean, obviously,
No, like the sooner we get going building it on latest SDK, the better it is. So it's not at all beating a dead horse, but
yeah, I mean, right now the workarounds I have work. Whether they're safe or not, I don't know, but they certainly compile, and I can continue like it can unblock people from doing work if needed. Right?
Well, and could Constantine, did the workaround that I put in the issue not work for you?
Downgrading to Xcode 16.2.
Yeah.
I didn't try that.
Okay.
that works. So that's what I've been doing.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I can always downgrade. The two patches I have are also pretty easy because we have zlib and Boost are both vendored, so like I can just modify the source code at whimsy.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I'm more than happy to attempt to update them, but like as you mentioned last time too, like updating Boost is a little bit more of a significant. Seems like a significant endeavor versus like zlib. I think we're only using that in a couple places.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would imagine, I put on the agenda down here that I was going to propose that we cut a new release, and I would think that maybe if we're going to update Boost, we do it like early on in the next release cycle, so we have the most chances to catch any issues. So maybe it'd be good to put in a PR for that if people agree, and let's not merge that until after we cut the next release, but then do that kind of immediately after we cut the release.
How do you feel about zlib?
Yeah, and zlib, I think seems lower risk. I'd be fine with doing it either way. I don't think, if there aren't CVEs here that we're trying to address, I wouldn't feel any rush to get either of them updated before the release, but I'm not opposed to updating zlib before the release. The CI is still building fine. I'm not sure off the top of my head which version of the toolchain it uses there.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, it seems like we can probably punt both of these until the next release. I don't think either of them are critical, right?
Yeah.
And like I'm unblocked from what I need to work on because I can either downgrade as mentioned in the issue or do those hacky source code modifications.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, I mean, I think I would say definitely put in PRs to start to address them if that's something that you have capacity for.
Yeah, why not? I mean, I don't know how much upgrading Boost is going to break, but I'm happy to try it and see what happens.
There's only one way to find out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for Boost, the major issue is rewriting or updating the CMake file itself. So even though, yeah, it's true that we use Boost in several places, I think, again, the major issue is going through their original build system and then hard code and replicate what we need on our side. So basically, if you open our CMake list for Boost, you will see that in there we only have the libraries we use, and also we are like redefining them as new targets, and we are listing all the source code files that make those libraries, compose those libraries, giving them the flags, etc., etc. I mean, all this process is so that the build of Boost can be in a sense, portable or be done on any system. So that part, I would say, is the more the costlier one and problematic one.
Understood. Okay. Well, and I mean, I can certainly try. Worst thing happens is I don't get it to work, but I can at least start. I'll obviously start these as two separate issues or PRs. Like zlib should probably be separated from the boost upgrade. So
Yeah.
But I certainly have time to at least get the zlib one in, and then if I can get boost, then I can get boost. If not, then I'll at least have a PR started.
And I'm sorry, one more question. You said you tried this on 16.2. Does that persist in 16.3 or 16.4?
16.3 is where the issue starts. 16.2 is what you can downgrade to fix it.
Okay.
If there's
Got
a 16.4,
Yeah,
I personally
came out
haven't
like
tried that.
came out like 4 days ago.
That would be interesting to try. If someone has a chance, like please do try it and comment.
Yeah, I'm not using Xcode. I'm using the command line tools, but I can download it pretty easily and try it out on 16.4.
There's an update to the command line tools for 16.4 that also came out that's available through software update, or should be, so you can just download those separately. It looks like there is a new bundle that they released.
Oh, I see it. Cool. Yeah, no, I see that now. Great. Yeah, I'll do both. It should be pretty easy. I don't really anticipate it being too hard to try and compile 16.4.
Nice. Thanks for pointing that out.
I mean, we probably should still upgrade zlib and maybe boost, but
Awesome. Yeah,
Cool.
I'll have time because I'm building stuff now. So, well, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Constantine. Mike, guessing your mic is still not working? Make a sound if it is. Otherwise, I'll read out what you've put on the agenda. Question about initial query and schedule interval with short-lived hosts, for example, VMs. The default query interval might be so long that the host never checks in with Osquery before it goes away again. If you configure a much shorter interval, you're going to increase potential load on the server because the queries are running more often. What if a query had another property in the config that ensured it was executed once, ASAP after boot, Osquery start, and then only at the regular interval thereafter? Might there be other solutions that wouldn't require a change to Osquery like this? So I think that there was a PR recently to do this. Is that familiar to anyone else? I would have said maybe from Micah at Collide.
I thought there was a feature request issue. I don't know if there's a PR, but
Oh, was it an issue?
We have
Feels
definitely
very
discussed
familiar. We
this.
discussed it in office hours, I think, sometime
Yes.
not so long ago. Yes. Oh, yeah. It was from Micah. Merged on March 25th. 8554. I'll drop the link in the agenda doc. So that would be released now, I believe. That would have gone out with the last release, the 5.17 release. So that might just do what you want, Mike. Check it out. I do think it was like, when I took a look at this, I was like, oh yeah, this definitely makes sense. Like it's something that people might want to do. Did it not make the release notes somehow though, or um? Oh, it did make the release notes in 5.17. Add support for scheduled queries to run at startup. 5.17 is just kind of a big release, so it's in the middle there. Yeah, I guess I'd say, Mike, take a look at that. Hopefully it does what you need. If it doesn't, let's talk more. Good timing. Anyone else have questions, issues, PRs to discuss? All right. I added some agenda items. The first being I'm proposing that we add a couple of committers from Fleet. So as some of you may have noticed, or I'm not even sure you put it together, but we've got more contributions coming from Fleet folks. Constantine, who's here, Scott Dress has been doing some PRs, and Lucas and Victor from Fleet over the last year plus. I'm proposing adding Victor and Lucas as committers because it's been, I think, hard to get PRs reviewed and merged recently. I have, usually when other people from Fleet make PRs, I've been reviewing and merging them if we haven't been able to get traction from other folks. But when I make PRs, it's been hard to get them reviewed and merged. So I don't remember if we have a formal process for designating people as committers. I don't remember the last time we've done it. But I wonder what folks' thoughts are around adding these two as committers.
Yeah, I'm in favor. I thought Lucas was already a committer, but maybe he's not. I'm not sure.
That would be interesting if he actually was, and we didn't realize that. Let's see. I can check that though, assuming I got YubiKey. Okay, so direct access. 6 users have access to this repository. Okay, so everyone on the TSC has access, which is you, Charvel, me, Seth, Ted Reed, Nick Anderson, Victor Vranchan, and Alessandro Gario. Then there are some more committers. That includes Stefano and well, we should probably remove him now. Marcos, who used to work at Fleet, but who hasn't worked at Fleet for a while, nor contributed to Osquery or done any reviews. So I guess I'd propose that we also remove Marcos at this time, and then probably, this also brings up like there are, folks from the TSC who have not been involved for a while, and we may want to think about those folks, which would be particularly like Nick, Teddy, and Victor have had a long history with the project. So I would, less of a rush to do that, but I would think that Marcos, I haven't seen him around for a year or more. I propose that we remove him now, and we add Does anyone remember that we have any obligation to use formal process around this besides discussing it, or feel like we should have some sort of formal process around this?
Is there a process defined anywhere? Sounds like not so much.
I think that there's probably not. What I can do is I'll take a peek around if there's, so we've got the foundation repo, which I will link. Um, in the agenda, I just put it there.
I mean, there's a line that says that a contributor may become a committer by a majority approval of the existing committers. A committer
Okay.
may be moved. Yeah.
Sounds like we should follow the process. So what I'll do is I'll reach out to the current committers directly, and hopefully we can get enough folks to respond to make that change following our formal process as documented. That was section 2.
C.
C.
Yeah.
2C3. Thank you. Okay. Cool. Anyone else have anything more that you'd like to say about that?
No, but I'm in favor. So.
Okay. Awesome.
Just
Thank you.
Cool.
Cool. 5, 5/18 release. It's been about 6 weeks, I think, since we've cut a release. Folks willing, interested in cutting a new one soon? I have some changes I'd love to get shipped.
I think we should target like next week or something and get that ball rolling.
That sounds good to me. Like end of next week, shall we call it? Or like around a
You
week
want to
from
ship
today?
a release on Friday the 13th?
Friday the
Let's do
13th?
it.
No, I
How
think we'll
about
just
Wednesday
cut a
the 11th?
release.
Who has PRs that they'd like to see get in?
I have that IntelliJ plugin stuff slightly working, but I don't know if I'm going to make that before next week. That seems very ambitious.
Okay.
So I'll try, but we'll see.
Okay. Constantine, feel free to let me know if you need a quick review. Although I will be on vacation most of the time between now and next Wednesday. But on Tuesday when I'm back, I could give a quick review.
Yeah, I doubt I'm going to be able to get it before. You said you're back on Tuesday next week.
That's right.
Yeah, I doubt I'm going to be able to get it before Tuesday. So, but when you're back,
Okay.
maybe I'll if it's done, I'll ping you.
Feel free to just reach out to me. Yeah.
I appreciate that.
I have a couple of PRs that I would like to see make it. Oh no, actually, I think that folks reviewed my other ones. Thank you, Stefano and Charvel. I just have one left that I would like to see make this release, which is 8603. It's the Windows recent files table. I don't think that should be too hard to review. If someone would be willing, that would be awesome. Doesn't have to be today. Do other folks have ones? Sharva, did we ever hear back from the person who's working on the endpoint security stuff?
No, and I also need to engage more, but
Okay.
haven't had any time.
Okay. People generally in agreement with shooting for cutting it Wednesday, week from today?
Don't have anything against it, at least.
Okay, cool. And I'm just adding one more agenda item here for just noticed due to the GitHub brownout that they are about to retire the Windows 2019 runner image. I see someone just approved that. Thank you, Stefano. I don't think this will have any significant impacts for us. Once I figured out what needed to be updated, it was pretty trivial change to use the Windows 2022 runner. The test seemed to pass. Stefano's approved it, so I think I'll go ahead and merge it, which will just be updating our CI image. If anyone was paying attention yesterday, you would have seen some CI failures from the brownout. But I think once we get this committed, then we should be good for another couple of years, hopefully. I'm not sure there's really much else to say there. Thanks, Stefano. And it's merged now. Cool. Anyone else have anything else that you'd like to bring up while we're here?
Just a quick follow-up on if we're updating dependencies for the next release. 8605 is a pull request to update lib archive. It might be nice to fold that in as part of the testing if we're doing like a dependency update round.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think, did we discuss this one, lib archive? Stefano, did you say something about this one being used? You were aware of like where specifically this dependency is used?
I think libarchive is only used for the carver to prepare a tar with the files in it.
Okay.
and I don't think, it's not used anywhere else.
Nice. Should
But I
we
mean, it
try to
makes
merge
sense.
this for this release? Since there are CVEs associated with it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it should be fine. Again, even if there is a problem, like it's really narrow, and I mean a functionality issue.
Yeah.
It will only affect the hardware. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I can take a look at reviewing this and getting it merged. I think it makes sense to get it in. And I think I guess I'd also mention, we talked about it last week or 2 weeks ago, the curl additional headers table. I had asked the question about what was their motivation there. We talked about the potential for abuse is high. We're not super inclined to merge it at this point. Not having heard from them for a couple weeks, I am thinking to let them know, we're gonna close this, but we're happy to discuss more the use cases and try to find a way to help you get what you need, or maybe just build it in an extension. Okay. Anyone else have anything? Sweet. Well, good. Always good to see you regulars, and glad to see some fresh faces today as well, or refreshed faces, I guess, if you will. Hope everyone is looking forward to a nice summer where you are, since I think everyone's in the northern hemisphere these days. Nice.
Oh, well, I'll hit you up next time I'm up Seattle way, Mike, or hit me up next time you're down in Portland.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, you're still down in Portland, Eric?
Yep.
Nice. Cool. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. I will shut down the recording, and we can all sign off and do it again in 2 weeks.
See you.
Sounds good. Thanks
Thank you.
all. Bye.